Welcome to the Hmong Peeps Show, the one and only show that brings you ordinary people sharing extraordinary insights. Well, maybe. Here is your host, Chew Effin Lee.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chew. Welcome to the Hmong Peeps Show. Sorry I didn't do an episode last week. I got very, very busy with a lot of family functions, primarily my sister's wedding. So we had to do a lot of preparations. It wasn't my wedding, of course, so we didn't have to do a lot of the actual getting the hall ready and getting food. That was all my sister and her husband. But I haven't bought myself like a nice suit in such a long time, so it was time to go shopping, and I didn't know that it took that much time. I went to the stores, like to the mall, 2 or 3 times until I finally saw something that I really liked. And then I probably won't wear it for, I don't know, a long time, I guess. But, oh well. And so the wedding went well. I don't know if you guys know it, but my sister's husband is a white dude. So we did the Hmong wedding last year. And this year, they planned out to do the American wedding. So we all had a great time. It was fun. Let's see what else happened. I guess nothing too exciting on my end. So we'll just get right into the topic of today. And I wanted to talk about phases that we sometimes go through, and this is pertaining to spiritual development, of course. And some of us, we get into these phases where we're very passionate about our spiritual journey, right? And then for some reason the passion kind of dwindles down and you're back to kind of where you started, which is whatever. And a lot of these people, a lot of people that I meet who want to go on this journey, I find that some of them have a very difficult time committing to, their journey and their development. So I call that, a phase. Just like how we have our own emo phase, or we have our own phases where we just kind of out of touch with reality for a little bit, and then we get back in the swing of things. So the phase that a lot of these people I encounter, I tell them, if you're not sure about really pursuing your journey, I don't think it's going to really have that big of impact on your life. There's the rare occasions where, people who are supposed to be shamans who either reject their calling or refuse to accept and embrace it. They get bothered by the guides for a while. They get sick and all this other stuff. That's a little bit different. But for those who are not on that path, who think that or feel like their calling is present and they want to dig into it, I question whether do they really want to, like deep down inside, do you really want to tackle this head on? And some people, they see me once in a while and they will talk about their development, say, well, here's where I'm at now, and here's where I was the last time you met with me. And I have to say, for some people, the results and the outcome is disappointing in regards to their growth. And again, this goes back to, I think they just get into a phase of really wanting to learn about it, but then for some reason they get distracted, or they decide to not be as passionate anymore, and then they're back to square one. they haven't seen much improvement or much change or difference. And then I guess that I can see how that might also have an impact on their motivation as well. So I say this to a lot of you who are listening, and you might have this thought about, you know, people tell me I'm gifted, but I'm not seeing any results. It might just be because you can relate to what I'm talking about, which is you have this phase of, okay, I'm very interested now, and then that might just last for a few days, a few weeks, maybe just a few months, and then it goes away. But if you really, really want to pursue this, you have to treat it like a job. You have to look into it every day. The simplest thing, in my opinion, and from my experience, like to be in touch and attuned with your spiritual journey and growth, is two things. You pray and you meditate every day. And I'm talking about every day, not just once a week, okay? The more you do this, the more you're going to be connected to your sources. And if you commit yourself to doing this every day, I think you will see a faster progression in your development. Now, it might not be, when you guys hear me say this, it might not be where you expect to have the gift of seeing, and you're praying for 2-3 months straight and hoping that you're going to start seeing spirits. It might not turn out that way. You might get the other gift, which might be the gift of hearing, the gift of dreams. And at that point, you have to realize, or have to make a decision, is that okay with you? Is it okay to have a different gift first? In my opinion, it is okay. Because sometimes, I've said this before, be careful for what you ask for, because if you start seeing things, you're not going to always be seeing positive and good spirits. You might end up seeing something that you didn't expect, or might scare the heck out of you, and you don't ever want to see again. But then, because you wanted it so bad, now you're starting to see strange things. And I think this whole phase thing, it applies to many other areas of our own lives. For example, I know some people who have this, I guess you can call it OCD too, to some degree. Some people, all of a sudden, they have this strange thinking of wanting something really bad, or wanting to do a hobby or some type of interest really, really bad. And then it starts off, I can see the passion, and maybe you can remember how you may have had these experiences where the passion is so in your face that you can't sleep at night because you're constantly thinking about it. And then after a few days or a few weeks, it goes away, and then you're off and doing something different. So it doesn't really, in regards to spiritual development, if you don't pursue your spiritual journey or embrace your gifts, to me, I feel sad about it, because now we're minus one person that can help the world and help other people. And if you have a guilty conscience, maybe you might feel bad or feel guilty for not pursuing, but that's up to you. Some people who have this gift and they've been doing it for so long, they wish it was a phase, but it's not for them. And so think about, if you decide today to say, no, I'm done with this, I want to move on to something else, it's your choice. Go ahead and do it if you feel like that's what makes sense. And I don't think it'll have a huge impact in your life. It's not going to significantly make your life any worse than it is, or any better than it is. But I would personally encourage those of you who have decided to be curious about your spiritual abilities. I encourage you to pursue it, commit to it, and have patience. because, as I mentioned in my one of my other shows, once you tap into your sources and you know how to connect with them, and you apply this law of attraction, your life will change for the better in huge ways. Okay, I can only speak from experience and from others that have shared the same stories with me. So something to think about. But don't feel too bad too if you feel like, hey, I feel like I'm abandoning people. No, people do this every day. I would imagine. They have these phases. They're in and out of these certain phases, and I think a lot of these people, their life hasn't gone down big time or gone up big time. So you should be okay. But just from me to you, if you can do it and if you're willing to do it, please do it. Okay? Please embrace your spiritual journey, embrace the calling, and connect with people who are gifted, who can help you figure things out on how to increase your abilities. All right? Okay, that's it. One more thing. I think I shared in another show, can't remember which episode it was, but I wanted to talk about relationships. And I started like this whole, I started like a little Facebook group page, but it was about Hmong relationships, and I just haven't had enough time to really grow with it. So, yeah, this is probably another phase, huh? Speaking of phases. But I had something happen at my house maybe last week, where a couple came to my dad for marital counseling, right? And the outcome of it and the entire process, I saw like I was there half of the time towards the end, and I did not like how the results were, or the resolution. It was just very biased. And this is something that I've noticed in a lot of marital counseling, if you want to say that, in the Hmong community. When you approach elders for these resolutions to fix your marriage, it's just never, I shouldn't say never, but it's yucky to me. Okay, I can't really put it in any other way. I don't like how the elders just support the man all the time. Okay, I believe that if the man's wrong, the man's wrong. Forget about his gender status. If the woman's wrong, the woman's wrong. Just, be straight with people. But so anyway, I guess my whole thing is, I'm thinking about shifting from Hmong relationships to, I guess, Hmong therapy or Hmong family, something like that. And when I do the first show, I'll post it on this page and let you guys, check it out, see what your thoughts are. I've been in touch with one of the other admins to see if she's interested too, so we'll see what she says. And stay tuned. All right? Have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk soon. Bye.